Hey everyone, today I'm going to give you 3 strategies for preserving your white albino leaves on your variegated plants. One of the biggest questions we get about albos and albino plants that have this white coloring that doesn't contain chlorophyll, is this unhealthy? Is this bad? Short answer is no. This is very common on white parts of the leaf because there is no chlorophyll in this leaf to capture the light and conduct photosynthesis. These green parts of the leaf are the only parts capturing the light and then conducting photosynthesis. So if you think of these two plants as different power plants, like different solar farms, this one is going to produce a whole lot more energy because it has more surface area than something like this, which is mostly white with some green. Now these 3 strategies, you've likely heard of the first one, but I can guarantee you haven't heard of the third one, so stick around till the end of the video. The first strategy is to make sure that these plants are getting tons of light. So since we only have this surface area to photosynthesize on, it's really important that this little bit of leaf gets a good amount of light. So if these lights aren't powerful enough or your sun isn't coming in through the windows strong enough, this plant will suffer and start to die back. So make sure you're pounding these plants with light. These lights draw about 240 watts each, the actual draw, not what they're rated as. And I keep the lights about 2 feet away from the plants. That's a good rule of thumb to start with grow lights. Again, always use the actual wattage, what the light consumes, not what it's rated as. These, I believe, are rated as like 1200 watt, but they actually don't consume 1200 watts. Once you get the light the right distance, you'll know you're too close if you start to see bleaching on the leaves. So number 1, make sure you're pounding these with light. Number 2, environmental conditions. We found humidity is the main contributor to a rapid browning of these leaves. Humidity that's too high and humidity that's too low can lead to this type of browning. The sweet spot we found is kind of right about 60% humidity. Remember, Monstera deliciosa is from Mexico, so it's a little drier than the kind of the tropical rainforest regions of Asia. It's a little more deserty. So if you get below that like 50, 55, you're gonna start to see a little more browning. And then if you get into like the 70s, we were doing 70% for the anthuriums at the back of the room, but then you'll see this rapid degradation and almost like the white part of the leaf kind of starts like melting. Okay, now on to the third and final way to take care of these variegated leaves. This is an Alocasia frydek, and as you can see, it has a ton of white leaves. This is planted in a hydroponic media, stratum mixed with perlite. Since I only have that little bit of green on the leaf, that's really not enough for this plant to thrive. So I need to supplement back and kind of trick the plant that it's photosynthesizing and it has what it needs to create new leaves. So remembering back to photosynthesis, we input water, carbon dioxide, and sunlight, and then we output sugar and oxygen. That sugar is what allows that plant to really grow, and that's going to be our hack. This is powdered sugar. You can use regular table sugar or any sort of simple sugar. Corn syrup. We use this very commonly in tissue culture. This is agar mixed with sugar and a bunch of growth hormones. I still owe you guys a video on that. But what you do essentially in tissue culture is you add in the sugar into the media so that that plant that doesn't have roots and can't photosynthesize yet still has the capacity to grow. And that's what you're seeing on this heartleaf philodendron. You're seeing it growing from little bits of shoots, even though it doesn't have the capacity to photosynthesize yet. And that's done through supplementing sugar. We're gonna do the same thing to this Alocasia frydek. We have a half gallon of nutrient water here. This is 2 liters. And we're simply gonna take 1 heaping spoonful or 1 tablespoon of sugar per 2 liters of water and mix it in. And it will simply dissolve. If you use table sugar or a granulated sugar, it will take a little bit longer. Now keep in mind, this will attract more bugs and gnats and ants. Just kind of be reasonable when you're applying it and be cognizant of where you're applying it and the drain off that comes off, because it is sugar, so other animals and insects will be attracted to it. And then simply water your plants. Now naturally, this isn't a long-term solution to having a highly variegated plant like this. I started this in tissue culture and I got really unlucky. This is a highly white frydek, so I really want to give it enough sugar to simulate photosynthesis so that then it can ideally produce more foliage like that has more green, and then it can just kind of naturally sustain on its own, capturing light and creating sugar. Thanks you guys so much for watching this week's video. If you did enjoy the video or learn something new, please click subscribe down below and or click the like button. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm so we can show this video to other people. Thanks you guys so much for watching and have a great day.